Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me make sure all this stuff working over here. I was gonna come in here doing this, that, and the third, but I think I changed my mind. I don't feel like doing that. Anyway, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of Live and Direct with T and Rod. And I can tell you, man, this has been a fun journey. And I have a new way to say this. As you can see from the thumbnail, the Meet and I nominated Live and Direct with T and Rod. We haven't won anything, but I'm gonna be just like the Grammys. I'm gonna say, hey man, we nominated, but hey, we got a good show for y'all tonight, going 50-50 in a relationship. And we got Tanya, but we also have a special guest, the man that makes special appearances on this show. And boy, when I saw him, I was so happy because maybe he can keep Tanya from killing me from her live the other night. So just happy to have them here. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring my guest co-host up here and the other co-host. It's gonna be 3 of us tonight, and we ready for y'all. So hopefully y'all ready. Without any further ado, hit the subscribe button. We are broadcasting from Event Yours, which is Tanya and Timmy's channel. We're also broadcasting from Point Blank Experience, which is my channel. And just show everybody some love. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What's up? What's going on, Rod?
Man, I'm just chilling, man. Feel like I've been in this little broke down chair all weekend, man. I've been on live after live after live, and just
Well,
happy
just
to be
to,
here,
you know,
man.
I just want you to know, just because TJ here don't mean that mean you safe. This I still you it's still coming to you. You may
Oh,
not know when. You won't know when. It's okay. It might not be tonight. It might be next Monday.
yeah, let's
I'm
do
gonna
it
tell
next
you.
Monday, man. Let me have some grace tonight. Let it be next Monday. Let it be next Monday, please, please,
Okay.
please.
We'll
But
see.
hey, so season 2, man, and I didn't even tell you it was a season 1 and 2. I'm just trying to make it simple for your boy. You know, I'm on the AARP status now, so I just figure my season's gonna start January 1st. Then I can keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? So, welcome to season 2, and it seemed like it's been a while since we've been together. And man, right when we were rolling, it was time for a break. The holidays, traveling going on. Uh, Tanya over there doing pictures of her in the French Alps or the Greece, Gallic, wherever they was. They was somewhere over there. But how y'all doing, man? How's y'all New Year been?
New Year was good. New Year was good. It was we had some family and friends over for New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day we just chilled, didn't do much or whatever. And then the weekend, it was just stuff to do around the house. And then that was it. It was pretty chill.
Oh yeah, a great time. Just getting it ready to kick things up for New Year. I know a lot of people like to do them New Year's promises to themselves, and I call them April Fools at the beginning of the year, April Fool jokes, or you be lying to yourself. But it's time to get it. That's what I'm at now. It's time to get it.
That's
Okay.
what I say, Timmy. I don't do resolutions either, man, because I tried that, and it lasts a week, 2 weeks, a month. So I just set goals throughout the year, and if I accomplish them, I do, and if I don't, I'll try to notice way before it's due, so I can adjust it, so I don't have a sense of disappointment or like I let myself down. Because we all can say something at the party on New Year's Eve that we're gonna do this, that, and the third, and then the second come and we forgot what we even said. So I try not to do that. Hey, I see we got some people in the house. Let me show some love for what Tanya give me. We got the Mighty House of X in the crib. We got Fats and Tree, the marathon experts on YouTube. I know they done did about 13, 14 hours of YouTube in the last couple of days. So they got to be tired. I'm surprised they here. So that, man, big shout out to them. You got some dude named Points Blank Experience in here talking about Happy Monday. Welcome in. You got JT Boogie. What up, JT in the house? As
Up,
Happy
JT.
Monday panel. And we got just a bunch of people. I'm gonna make sure I don't repeat the same thing. We got CJ and Sharice in the house saying, hey,
Oh,
I'm
CJ
PDC. Hey, Tanya and Timmy. We got Debbie. Oh, Debbie jumped around. Debbie said hi. Hey,
Debbie.
if y'all ain't never seen me, I really exist. Let me do this real quick, Debbie. Hold up, man. This thing jumping. Boy, this thing playing with my emotions. You see that Point Blank Experience? Just hit that subscribe button after you leave Tanya's. You know, y'all come on, show your boys. I'm trying to get a 4,000 hours, and I think I can do it by February, March. But I need y'all help. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that later. All right, I think that's everybody. Oh no, I saw DT Cruiser here somewhere. What
Mm-hmm.
up? Good evening, Tanya, Timmy, Rod, and Chat. Hey, what it do? What it do? All right, so 50-50, man. We got 15 real homies in the crib. 50-50, man. I mean, it's so
50-50.
whoo boy. That 50-50, from what I read the last couple of days, it caused a lot of problems across the country. I didn't know it was that bad.
Well, you know what, 50-50 is basically what you make of it. You know, to me, I feel like this. What is 50-50? Because I guarantee you people probably either everybody think it's one thing, and then some people who are a little more mature will probably think, will look at it and define it differently. So with that said, what is 50-50? When you think of 50-50, what does that mean to you? So I'm gonna start with you, Rod, and then I'm gonna ask you. Now, 50-50 ain't here in the house, so just so y'all know that.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna ask him his opinion of what 50-50 is.
yeah, we didn't pre-script this, y'all. We don't know what nobody's gonna say. And I must admit, when Tanya came up with this topic, I thought I knew what 50-50 was. And as I start researching, I don't script it, but I am gonna have some type of knowledge so I don't look crazy up here. I have a different outlook of 50-50 now. So as Tanya asked me that question, the first thing when I hear 50-50 is I think finances. I think 50-50 on the bills. You give me half the rent, give me half the car note, half. And I learned through my research that 50-50 goes beyond that. 50-50 could be emotional 50-50. It could be household chores 50-50. So 50-50 to me, it starts with communication. And once we lay the foundation of communication, what is 50-50 is going to be determined by what those two individuals
Mm-hmm.
deem to be 50-50. 50-50 in our world, as we see it, could be 60-40, 70-30. But to them, if they have communicated, it's still 50-50. It's how they come up with their 50-50. They being Rod and who he's with, a married couple, or two partners, whatever it is. That's what I think 50-50 is. So
Okay, but initially 50-50 to you meant financials.
yep.
Just
Give
all
me half of everything. I want half for the HOA fees, half for the water bill. I've
right,
never
right,
been
right.
that way personally, but I want, if I'm thinking 50-50, that's what I was thinking. So
What you think 50-50? Like how
Well,
did you
well,
interpret 50-50?
well, for me, seeing a lot of people that I know, I got no people to do 50-50. 50-50 means half on everything. It means half on doing the laundry, half on washing the dishes. It means half on the gas going in the car. You know what I'm saying? It means half on everything to enrich life or to live your best life. It's going to be a 50-50, which is not a bad deal if it's communicated, like Rod said, communicated properly. The key to a successful 50-50 is communication. But a lot of people end up thinking it's 50-50, but it's more like a 90-10 or 80-20 or 70-30.
yep.
Now I can tell you and you know what, and a lot of times your definition of 50-50 will change depending on what phase you are in life, right? Because the more experienced you are, it begins to look a little different, right? And I don't care what anybody says, there's no such thing as 50-50. There is no 50-50. There's always going to be, it's sort of like how people say, work-life balance. Ain't no damn thing. There's no such thing, because if your job needs you a little more, then your family going to see you a little less. If your family needs you a lot more, then you're going to have to take some time off from work. So work is going to see you a little less. It's never 50-50. Balance just means that, none of our cups are running empty, right? We're sustaining each other to make sure something's in our cup at some point, right? Now, it's wonderful if everybody's cup is filled to the rim. More power to you, bless you. The Lord got you, but in most people's cases, is not, everybody's cup is not filled 100%. So, with that, to me, in my earlier days, 50-50 was financial. I mean, when my first husband, we did everything literally 50-50. He had days he did the dishes. I had days I did the dishes. Both of us worked. Both of us took, uh, added up all the bills, split it down to half, and said, okay, every time we get paid, this is how much money you need to put in the joint account, and that's how much money he put in the joint account. And that joint account only paid bills, and the other, whatever you had left was your money, whatever he had left was his money. Whatever it was to do, he had to ask what he doing with his other money, and I had to ask what I was doing with mine. But that's why sister always kept 2 jobs, because I liked a lot of money. But 50-50 to me is really just a partnership and sharing. And it's just a matter of what point in life and where you all are, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, or whatever. But to me, it's inclusive of more than just money. Because what some people may not realize is that maintaining a household is work. There's stuff that got to get done. If it, regardless whether you work or don't work, the place get dusty. I put it this way: either you're gonna spend your time or you're gonna spend your money to make it happen. It's one of the two, either way. But either way, it has to get done. And I think that most people, even most people assume that it's only about money, and it's not. Because I guarantee you, if you flip roles, let me tell you something. I would take the money, 100% of the money, any damn day. If he wanted to stay home and just do everything in this house and everything with our daughter and worried about everything outside the job, that's less stressful to me.
I read an article today, Tanya, and I didn't save it. I can't believe it, but it was saying basically what you just said, that there was a young lady in this article, and she was saying in her world, it was more like 250-50, because you think of carrying a child pre-birth. A man can't do that, or certain things that certain men won't do, like maybe cook or wash dishes or make the bed, whatever the case may be. Fortunately, I know Tim and I both can relate to this. Being in the military, other than having a baby, we did everything. We had to wash our clothes. We had to make the bed. We had to do those type of things where, in my opinion, we would have been better equipped if that was 50-50. But it's still certain things that I think 50-50 is never really going to be 50-50.
No.
It's never going to be. And then I started reading in the articles, which I want to get in later. It should be 100-100, but then somebody says, no, it can't be 100-100 because there's no such thing as 200%. And I was like, man, this is getting more and more confused. This should be a college class.
I think when you hear people say 100-100, what they're saying is, figuratively speaking, him and I are 100-100. Why? Because I can go to work and make money and sustain, right? But I can also take care of the home, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not doing both if I'm working outside the home, right? If I wasn't here, he could sustain. He got his income coming in and he knows how to take care of the home. You see what I mean? So that to me is what I think people mean by 100-100, meaning nobody is lacking anything where something is just not gonna occur. It's everybody gonna get fed. You're gonna have the clothes on your back now. Different people got different styles. You may not look as cute. Your hair may not look as cute as when mama did it, when daddy got to do it, or vice versa, or the car may run a little better when daddy was here, but mama got to take care of the car. But at the end of the day, you're going to have the car and it's going to run. So I think maybe that's what they mean by 100-100, because there is no such thing as 200%.
Well, what I read, it was more like that mindset, that 100-100. As long as we get to 100, who cares how we got there? If it's 50-50, if it's 80-20, and then I'm going to get a little deeper as we go through this. It was certain things that I'll probably share on the screen of how they broke it down. They looked at individual expenses versus in comparison with household expenses. But I want to see what the chat thinks. Because some of these individual expenses, I was kind of questioning when I read it. Have I looked at these as individual, or did I always think there was a part of the partnership. So
Mhm.
it's crazy. Like, and I want to know, and if people in the comments, and I see the Nichols have been saying, you know, not splitting everything, and some good comments in here. CJ and Cherie says it's not about the money at all, you know, and I think that's where the mix-up come, and it was some things when it came to the money that was put in front of me as I researched this, like uh it becomes a scorekeeping thing. Well, I did this. Did you do that? I did that? Did you do this? Well, I'm ahead. Like it's a football game or a basketball game. And
Mhm.
I was amazed at how many articles I read in the last couple of days that said most 50-50 relationships fail
Mhm.
because of the outside noise that they're creating within the home. So
Well, you know, I have a you could go ahead into the comments, and when you're done, I wanted to pull up this video that talks about perception versus reality. You know, because you know, if you may get someone to go, well, you always or you never, like those two words, no one should really ever use when you're talking about what someone else does or does not do. Why? Because it's always just your perception. You know what I mean? So that's just like once or twice a week you walk past this store and this person has on that red shirt and those blue jeans, and you only see them twice a week. If all you do is see that person twice a week, I guarantee you the conversation if somebody said, do you know that person from down the street? Oh yeah, the one that's always wearing that red shirt and blue jeans. Well, you only saw them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. What about Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? You know what I mean? And Saturday. So they may not have had those things on. It's just your perception. So a lot of times you can't really, you know, say what somebody is or isn't doing more or less, but it's always going to feel that way regardless because it's only what you see or what you know about. And it's not 24/7.
Very, very true. I want to piggyback off of that just for a little bit. That's to me is one of the biggest downfall in a 50-50 relationship is the conception that I'm doing 70 and you doing 30, but we both be doing 50-50. Because one person gonna only see what they do, and they're gonna always assume that they're doing more because we're not perfect. We got our own little picks and our own little qualms, and we got our own way of listening. We got our own way of doing. We got our own way of seeing. So everybody's not gonna see alike. Like for instance, me and Tanya views on cleaning. She like her stuff clean all the time. Now me, I might put stuff down and say I'm
Shit
gonna come back.
everywhere.
I might put stuff down and said I'm gonna come back and get it later. But by the time I get ready to get back, the roof is off the house, the wind blowing through it, and I'm like, the damn roof done blew off the house. I get tired of cleaning. That's why I pay to have somebody come and clean this shit up. I don't like seeing stuff cluttered. Woo, 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 woo. I'm like, hey, give me some time. I'm gonna get it. But that's my perception of where I came up. Before our lights go off in this house, everything will be in its place. But if ain't nobody here but me, her, and the little one upstairs, we're the only one gonna see it. But
I gotta see it.
She can't stand it. It drives her up insane.
Well, see, that's where, let me tell you, that's also, well, I'm not even gonna say it's perception because it's a fact, but it's what when you have to run into something every day and it's the same thing every day, then it's your reality, right? Now, if I didn't come through the garage and I came through the front door and I go through my normal ritual, I probably would never see what's going on in the kitchen until I go to the kitchen. You know what I mean? But because I come through, and that's where he spends most of the time throughout the day between the den and the kitchen and the den and the kitchen, everything in the kitchen is, I know he had for breakfast. I know he had for lunch. I know he had a little snack. I know what he drank. I know he had a little tissue over here. I knew he was cleaning his glasses because the little papers and stuff are just balled up over here on the other side of the counter. You know, I know he must have screwed or fixed something because you got the screwdriver over there on the other side. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it tells a story. And that is a stressor to me. It's a stressor. And I also just think it's maybe just the way I was raised, because I was raised to keep the house clean. Period, at all time. Like, you just keep the house clean, and every place has a place. And to me, I find that if you keep things in a place, you'll always know what you have. You'll know when you don't have it. And if you ever couldn't see and you had to walk somewhere because you had to get something, you can find it, because it's where it's always is. When stuff is everywhere, you're more likely to spend more money on stuff, because you'll be like, oh shoot, I didn't know I had more of this. It was, you get a spot over here, a spot upstairs, a spot downstairs, a spot over in the corner, because it's just easy to reach at any time. But like I said, it's just perception. It's perception. But some perceptions are factual. He wouldn't have brought it up if it wasn't true. You said it, I didn't.
And I'm the same way. I'm trying to get better, but I'm that wherever I finish, I'm gonna put it up. But now I'm trying to that night or the next day put it where it goes. And I'm that person that I won't look at it.
Do you really put it where it goes?
Now I am, but I have a smaller space too, though.
Okay.
And I don't make a list before I go to the grocery store. So if I'm having tacos, I'm gonna get everything that go with tacos. When I moved, I promise you, I had like 7 unopened large taco seasoning bags in the cabinet because I had accumulated them.
Right.
But I think a lot of people, one of the things I realized, a lot of people, when we think 50-50 or 70-30, whatever the ratio is, I would rather have 50-50, 70-30, whatever the numbers are, because I realize living alone as a male, I'm not speaking for nobody else, I kind of need an accountability partner.
Right.
For various things. And a lot of times that's 70-30, at 50-50, your partner may say something that you're not even thinking of. It's so many different variables. I want to read this comment real quick, Tanya. I want you to play those videos of Fuller Life now says sometimes it's going to be 60-40, sometimes it's going to be 40-60. It's give and take in a good marriage. Everyone is not going to be at their best in a relationship every day. I read about that. You know your partner. If y'all are living together, more than likely you should know your partner. You can tell when they have a rough day. You may have to step up and be that 70 that day. Even though you're not feeling it, your partner may really be at 30 that day. And the next day or 2 days later, your partner may be at 70, you may be at 30. And then at the end of the week, we 50-50 or whatever it is. We come there. So
those are facts.
Jags Farm said, my 50-50 marriage is on 40 years. He's been going for
congratulations.
So, man, yeah, big shout out for the 40 years. Now, when you say 50-50, I think Jags may be at another live. I know he usually goes live at 8. So I'm not sure. And the Nichols says, speaking for the Nichols, are one. We got the best advice from a married couple when we got married. 2 become 1. When you separate things, you are now 2. They did not lie. And that's a good point. 50-50, in my opinion, Tanya, you asked me what is 50-50, really, right from the gate, you're separating your relationship right down the middle. You may as well be 100 over here and 100 over there, if you're really running a true 50-50 relationship, or trying to, should I say.
Those are facts. You run 2 individuals.
You gonna do the video, Tanya? Or
I was
well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna pull up something and let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna share this real quick with everyone because I kind of want to see what people think about this. Let me get to I think it's this right here. Yeah. All right, so it's talking about individual spending and dual spending, joint spending, and hopefully y'all can see that. I can't really make it any bigger, but I'll read it over it real quick. And it says individual spending, cell phone bill. Most couples that live together that I know, typically don't you get a discount if you put both lines on the same bill or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't agree with that. Gym membership, if we're both going to the gym, I don't know about no individual spending unless one of us just not going. coffee dates with friends, I guess, clothes and haircuts. I didn't like this at all. This, and y'all probably said why I put it up, because I totally disagree with this. Now, joint spending, I agree with this: rent, utilities, groceries, date nights, and vet visits for your shared fur baby. I
Okay.
just think, why we got to have an individual in a joint? Won't we just? I mean, maybe go back to the old days. And let me see if it was anything else, because I'm gonna take that down. Maybe go back to the old days. We just put all the money in a pot. You get a little bit, I get a little bit. I am gonna probably post this to my community tab. It's too much to go over, but I like what they did. Basically, if one person make 100,000, the other person make 160,000. I wish I was in their family. And then they divided, the person that's making the most, they pay 62.5% of the stuff, and the other person paid 37.5. It made sense, but will we really sit down and do all these calculations? Probably not. I mean, that's just my opinion. So did you figure it out, Tanya?
Yep, I got it.
All right.
Hold on, let me pull it up. I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on.
Thanks for the 19 people that are in here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, whether you're on Tanya's channel or my channel, and you're not subscribed, please do so. Also hit that like button. It helps this get pushed out. You never know who could hear something in this live that could actually benefit from this. And we appreciate everyone being here. And I really don't say share out, but if you feel friendly tonight, go ahead and share it out on your channel if you're a content creator. Like I say, you never know who could learn from this. So
God dog it. I just had it. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
no, that's all right.
Okay, nope. I got it. I got it now. And I'm gonna have to share my screen. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me make this bigger.
Take it off mute.
Take it off mute. Hold on 1 second. Let me start it back from the beginning. Let me share my screen. See, if I was like, because it's your StreamYard, not mine. So that's why it just took me a minute.
Okay. All right.
Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, I see it now. Let me go ahead and add that. There it is right there. Let me take this down so I can get that out the way.
All right.
Hey, I like this. Y'all, we ain't never did that. I told y'all we don't script nothing. We just do it on the fly. So,
hold on.
Once one of the parties feels, not even accurately can pinpoint, but feels that they're doing more than the other, we now have conflict. All right? And again, it may not even be that they actually are doing more. But let's just say that man feels like the burden has actually been more on him. And he comes on you like, I'm the one always doing this. And you're like, how dare you? Like, because to you, if anyone's been doing more, it was you. But you guys have your own perception of it because you're basing it off of feelings, because there's no actual way to quantify it. There's no way to prove, no, I actually did more than you. So again, it becomes this pointless battle, which now turns into attitudes, resentment. Now intimacy takes a hit because we're not feeling each other. Snowballs into all kinds of other issues. All right?
Well, do you agree?
I do. I think, really the 50-50, like I said earlier, it's just really the tip of the iceberg. You're going to have a lot of other problems. People, I like to look at it as counting chips, or not potato chips, but counting chips at a casino. Oh, you had 3, let me get 1. You have 4, and I only have 2, let me get 1. You start keeping score, and before you know, you're not even focused on the foundation of the relationship or the marriage. You too worried about whether you got 50 or they got 75. It becomes a numbers thing. And right then and there, I'm not going to say every relationship that's 50-50 fail, but to me, and so many people in the comments have said it, I'm getting ready to go through the comments here in a second. So many people have said it. It's really just teamwork. Let's take all the numbers out of it. Just have teamwork. But just like everything else, we got to have a title. We got to have a subject, 50-50,
Well, I feel that everybody, the reason why perception is in your mind is because people think about, there are things that a person may do that may not, like he said, you can't quantify it, right? Some people may say, oh, and I'm just using this as an example. It's not true, but using this as an example. Now, I mean, this part is true, but I'm giving the example I'm giving of the outcome is not true. So our guest room on the upper level, I didn't want it to be a bedroom anymore. I figured let's just make it a day room where the bed is going to be situated as if it's like just an oversized couch, and that's going to be the space where we have our luggage and our travel stuff. I organized everything, so all the little travel accessories that we use to travel with is all in little bins with labels and stuff. And the reason I did that is because previously, again, you turn around and every time we going on a trip, we buying extra toiletries, we buying this, we buying that. And then when I went through all the stuff, we had like multiples of everything. And so I said, well, let me coordinate that, right? Now, mind you, it only took me one day to do everything that I needed to do, right? I say a day and a half, but that's only because something else came up. But the mental work and the organizing to be able to go in and execute that fast was also work that had to be done, right? But that's something that he wouldn't have been able to quantify, because all he may see is, well, you went in there, it only took you a day. If I got to go out there, I got to do this and this, and it take me 3 weekends. You know what I'm saying? And I may be like, well, me and you execute differently, or whatever, or pay somebody. That's what I do. I work hard because I told myself that there was things in life that I didn't like doing and I wasn't going to do it. And I'd rather work for the extra money to take care of stuff that I don't feel like doing. So if he want to do it, knock yourself out. But if you're not going to do it and I don't want to do it, then we going to pay somebody to do it. So either way, it's going to get done and it got to get done. So, that's basically it with the perception part. But let me ask you this: who do you think benefits more? Let's talk about this. So we know it's more than just finances. We all know, because we're all mature, we've identified that there's different ways to actually share a workload, right? But let's look at the traditional 50-50, right? Most of the time, people are talking about 50-50 in terms of bills. No one's talking about rearing the kids. No one's talking about cleaning the house. No one's talking about having to take care of the kids when you get home, because guess what? Being a parent doesn't stop. You don't come in the house and then they clock out. Even when the kids are asleep, you still a parent, because guess what? Even now, and my daughter is 23 years old. Do you know why I go in there and I give her a kiss every morning before I leave for work in the morning and she sleep? You know why I do that? I want to make sure she breathes. Make sure that when I left the house and my child was alive when I left the house. So, and that is still till this day. She's 23 years old. I've been doing that since she was a baby. Because she's a very sound sleeper. If she was too still, I move her a little bit. I have to make her move on her own. Like, okay, good. She good. Because I'm a parent. I'm a mama. That's what I do. Now, this one here, him and her could be in the house all day long. I speak to him later in the evening. I'm coming home. Hey, how Halea doing? Oh, she doing good. She upstairs in the room. Did you go check on her? She up there, she good? I said, did you put your eyes on your child?
I gave her the 50-50.
Is she alive? Did you talk to her? Did she call you? Did you hear some feet walking to the bathroom?
50-50.
Did she move? He couldn't tell you. He couldn't
50,
tell you.
50.
I said she could have been up there calling out for her daddy, choking or doing something, and he won't know.
I heard that because I got good ears. But that's the 50-50 right there. That's another way to look at things. As a father, I give a 50-50 on that. So on that, she's gonna be a mother, and I know she goes in and checks and all that. So she goes in and checks on her. If I'm working from home, I'm downstairs on the computer. So when she goes, before she walks out the door, I get my kiss. So all I have to do now is 50-50. So she done did her part, and all I got to do is do the rest. Keep everybody out the house. Bugs, roaches, rats, keep the cats out. the unwanted people, solicitors, Jehovah's Witness. That's all I have to do. I have to do 50-50 at that point.
You still invite unwanted people in the house.
No, I don't. No,
See,
I don't.
to answer your question, like TJ just brought up a good point, because I think mothers being natural nurturers, that 50-50 may be different from a father unless a father is put in a certain situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think like, because I would have never thought to kiss my daughter just to see if she breathing. I would have never thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that, and that's an ingenious thing. But me as a male, I'd probably go in there and take her pulse. I'd wake her all the way up because I'd be having all. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. But you're, as a mother, smart enough to know, hey, let me just, if I kiss, I can feel her breathing. You know,
Right.
even if it's a slight breathing.
And is she still warm? You know, is her body warm? You know, that's a look. I check him too. You know, he at that age. Sometimes when I'm used to him snoring, and the other night, when I say it was like it was eerily quiet.
Mm-hmm.
No snoring, no heavy breathing, no nothing. And I'm going, mm-mm. So I go and I hit him. He don't damn move. I said, oh, no. So finally I get up. I got to do something on his head. I usually slap him or something. And then he'll do this. And I'll be like, okay, he good. He okay. He alive. He alive.
I'll be just about ready to get them lottery numbers from the dream master and
Oh,
write them down. As soon as she hit me, I just get one number. Then I wake up.
always got to add your sauce to it.
She done ruined it. That's why we still broke.
But back to the question, who in the money situation, who do you think benefits the most from the 50-50?
I think I'm gonna give you the money, then I'm gonna give you the non-money. So with the money situation, I'm gonna say benefiting is different from who could kind of control the 50-50. Because I think whoever makes the most money, they automatically think they control the whole 50-50. And it goes beyond that. They take control to a whole nother level. They want to control everything. But in a 50-50, again, going back to the communication,
Mm-hmm.
just in my experience, it don't really matter who makes much money, because when we take money out of it and you go in the house, I think the woman got control. I don't care what because at the end of the day, when it's time to go to bed, and that big super flip come over and you just looking at her back, and the back of the bonnet, or the back of the hair, back of the scarf, back of whatever. Hey man, I changed my mind. I'll do 80. You ain't got to do number 20. I'm gonna start changing gears, you know. So I just really think whoever has the most money when it comes to finances, they think they have control. Do they really?
No, they don't.
They don't.
Most of the time. Let me tell you why most of the time they don't. Unless you just get unless they just have another person that just chooses to be oblivious to any type of responsibility. Okay. There are some people that just be like, I don't know. You know, my wrist broke. You know, I don't know. I'm just a damsel in distress. There are women who act like that, and that's fine. And there are men who love it. And there are men who say that they don't like it, but they do. They like it to a certain point. Okay. But you also got to understand there's a different type of woman that, you know, the woman is either that dumb or she acting, is one of the two. So it's just a matter to the man of which one you want. The one that's acting, which is probably going to mess with your ego when you realize that, you know, come on, you ain't all that much of a hero. I can do what you doing. No big thing. I'm just making you feel like you can. Or do you deal with the one that really does feel like you are the Superman, the hero? I can't do nothing because you just do everything, and you just, I wouldn't be in this world without you. You know, like I can't make it in this world without you. What type of woman would you prefer in that situation? You stuck with me right now, but you can say what kind of woman you want.
Well, I want to hit the lottery one day, so I would love to stop getting that. You know how you used to watch Benny Hill when the
It hit
old
you
man
upside your head. I don't touch you on your head.
I would love to get the lotto. Just let me get 5 numbers.
And what you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna be a halfway rich bitch.
Right,
5
halfway.
numbers.
Halfway. I noticed he said halfway.
5 numbers is $1 million.
Halfway.
So I ain't got to get the whole. I'm gonna be a halfway rich bitch, because that's all I'm gonna say. But can I get that instead of this?
So what was that question again? Tell you, because Timmy just made me laugh. I forgot.
The question was, in this 50-50, you were talking about having control. The person that makes the most usually think they control the situation. I said, well, a lot of times you do get some men who are in control, but they're just in control of what happens. And usually in order to control the house, right, they usually have servants, right? They got somebody cooking the food, a nanny taking care of the kids, somebody cleaning the house, right? Somebody is driving the car, somebody, you know what I'm saying? So all she doing is she just a housewife, and I don't know what that means. It shouldn't add anything if you ain't got no broom in your hand. But I was saying, what kind of woman would you want if you was making the money and being in control? A woman who really is like, she can't do anything without you, like you really are in control, or a woman that is acting, not necessarily acting, they appreciate you, but she make you think like, I just can't. There are some women and wives that I know that act like they can't lift up nothing. Oh, honey, can you pick this up for me? And sometimes I'd be like,
no, that ain't gonna work.
I'd be like, bitch, pick that goddamn garbage bag up. You know how to. Now I get it. I mean, I don't do garbage. Does that mean I can't? I know how to. I know how to change oil. I know how to change brakes. Now, in those particular situations, my wrist is broke because he doing it. My wrist is broken. I will clearly state I don't do that. That's what I say. Don't say I can't do it. I don't do that. That's all.
It's a couple of things I don't like. Now, if a person choose to do it, it's on them. But I don't like to see a woman take out the trash. I just don't like.
And guess what? But that's a choice, though.
Right. And I mean, I can't say mowing lawns because I saw my mom mowing our lawn. So I can't say that. But she did it by choice, like you said. She didn't have to. I don't know. Maybe she's out there being therapeutic or something. But
well, no, what probably was going on, your daddy probably said he was going to take it out and it was stinking up the house and she got tired of
no, not the trash. She was mowing the lawn. No, he took the trash out. No, he didn't. We did. Now,
okay, well then. And a house full of boys too? Oh, if I was her, I wouldn't touch that daggone trash either.
But I would rather be where the woman is real. Don't be sitting over here telling me you can't do this. If you really can't, then you can't. If you really can. Because I'm at that, being an AARP member now, I'm really not. But what if I can't for real? And you can't, and I can't. Who gonna do it? I mean, like, who gonna do it? I mean, if you can't lift a finger, because you just can't lift a finger, you saying it, but I really can't because I'm over here in a certain situation. Who gonna do it? I mean, and that's just my question. I mean, just like my mom, even though she really couldn't cook, she taught us the basics. We knew what items went with what. How it was going to taste was a different story. But I could cook everything I need. I can cook everything I need just in case I'm with somebody in the situation. She's tired from work. She don't feel like cooking. I can go in there, and if not, I'll go get something. But I can do something. But if we don't have no money, I can't go in there and get some potatoes, throw them in the oven, and we're going to have 2 fulfilling baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes, right.
But a lot of people, and I think too, tell you, one thing that irked me is the person who, kind of like you said, but I'm going to flip it around. I think of that movie, Baby Boy. Remember that movie, Baby Boy, with boy, ain't no way. I'd have blew the whole house up. Wouldn't nobody been living there. I mean,
Yeah.
she come home, dude laying on the couch. I mean, come on, man.
Well, see, well, you have to understand in that situation, I blame her as well because, and this is not all. So please, anybody in the comments, don't come for me. I'm just saying in general, and it's just a natural thing. You get a single mother with a young little son, and they're growing up in the house, and there's like no man or around. That son is her everything, her world,
man.
you know. And eventually, I don't know what it is. Some of them can't let go. They don't like none of the girlfriends. They get the girlfriends, and then they like, oh, well, I come first and all this type of stuff. And then when they get married, they got an attitude. Like, I'm not saying that's all, but I'm saying, and baby boy, he was the way he was because she spoiled him. She spoiled. And if I remember in the movie, she did fess up and say, you know, I did this to you, but you need to get your tail out there or something or another. I can't remember the movie.
Am I mixing up two movies? That's the movie that Snoop was in and he was laying on the couch all day?
Yes. With his baby mama. That was his baby mama boyfriend or something.
Well, I like the prescription they prescribe for baby boy. Because when dude went in the kitchen, the old boy was in there cooking breakfast.
Yeah, but you know what though? But let me tell you, Ben Vereen, he handled that well. And the only reason he handled that well was what? He came out of jail, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm not gonna let this little punk me. What you mean? Okay, well, I'm gonna get you. You talking all this smack, and then he went and he gave him that little sleeper hold and lick his forehead, and he didn't know what was gonna happen to him.
Yeah.
You know, the little boy, they talk about mama.
Call your mama, baby boy. Call your mama, Jody. Call your mama.
Man,
What's up, Scotty?
Hey, I want to pull this up. We're going to keep going with this here, but I'm just going to pull this up because it kind of... Now, can you see that, Tanya? It's itty bitty in my world.
I mean, I can make this bigger. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I think I got a trick here. Y'all bear with the young guy over here. Boy, I'm learning some things over here, y'all. Boy, I play with this computer all day. All right,
I have another angle as well in the video. Go ahead.
All right. So right here, man, why 50-50 can be detrimental. You know, and I already talked. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Score, keeping, and resentment. You start tracking every chore, favor. You notice they didn't put finances first. They put chore and favors and financial contribution is way at the big, creating a you owe me mentality. You know, I did this, you owe me. Well,
you know why? Because the chores is more physical and is more noticeable. Because believe it or not, I put it this way: if you get two single people, no kids, and they both keep the house clean, and they both put stuff up where it's supposed to go, and they both clean up behind themselves, chances are it's not going to be an issue. The issue comes where, okay, I'm doing more dishes when I'm doing dishes because you don't know how to clean up behind yourself. Or, hey, you didn't
have your meals when it's my turn.
Right. Yeah. Stuff like that. You know, somebody's having to do something. They have to do more labor in order to maintain than just enough as it would be if it was just them.
Right.
So that's the reason why I think chores is usually the first thing, because that's the main thing you can't quantify, but it does take a lot of time and effort.
Yes, let me add a little bit to that. That's the main breakdown. When Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday him, Tuesday her, then your Wednesday him, Thursday her. Well, on her day, she cooked 2 3-course meal. On his day, he go and cook a 5-course meal. That 3-course meal gonna generate way less dishes than that 5-course meal. But after a while, at first you might not see it that way and might not feel that way. But after a while, you're gonna get tired of washing a 5-course set of meals. You got 6 pots, bowls, pans, glasses, and all of that. You got a whole dishwasher full and a sink full. After a while, that's going to be a problem because one person is doing more than the other. So that 50-50 don't went out the window.
I'm going to pull this down so everybody can see it, and I bring it up. Timmy bring up a good point because I think with this 50-50 thing, it's never fair because we really don't take account for what that other person does. We really don't. We're so busy about what we're doing and what they're not doing. We don't think about what that other person is actually doing because I never thought about a 3-course meal and a 5-course. I would have thought I was getting over just having to cook the 3-course meal, or I was getting done wrong because I had to cook the 5-course meal. But I didn't think about all these dishes. Now I know why I get paper plates. You come to my house, I got some China
There you go.
some paper.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you something. The only time dishes get pulled up out of here is if it's a pot like you're cooking or it's a holiday. Them dishes stay in there. We paper plate, paper fork, spoon, knife, paper bowls, whatever. Because guess what? I'm not doing no damn dishes. I'm not. I grew up doing. I hate doing dishes, and that's why the dishwasher is the the highest cost appliance in this house. I got that dishwasher is supposed to grind up the food at the bottom of every daggone thing. So I wasn't doing no doggone dishes. It's going right in this dishwasher, or somebody else gonna do it.
Well, my dishwasher is a dish rack. I just put all my wet dishes in there and let them dry. Leave the door open, then I take them out and put them in the cabinet.
Yeah, see, I ain't washing no dishes. I got them red Solo cups, all that. Just that's what you drinking out of. That's what you gonna eat out of. Now, when it's something fancy, or I'm trying to be nice and want to make him a meal, make him feel special, he'll get it on a plate.
Well, the only thing gonna make me special is you gonna wash the dishes too. Because if you ain't doing that,
well, that's what. Well, see, that's what the dishwasher is for.
That's what
give me a paper plate. You can give me a T-bone steak on a paper plate. I'll be the happiest dude in the world. I was like, you gotta wash no dishes.
Say it again, Ron. and look, so say it with me now. Cook that 3 or 5-course meal, but can you wash the dishes after you cook it? Now that'll be like a meal fit for a king.
Okay, but let me. Okay. There's another point I got to make because we ain't got that much more time.
Let me say this part right quick. You know what I get? Y'all get your ass down there and eat this food out and cook. I done been in this damn kitchen all. Look, I'm tired. Y'all come eat. TJ, get your ass out there. Go in there and eat. So I go in there and eat. You know what I'm saying? And then, and hurry up. Y'all, yeah, and you gonna clean them damn dishes up. You or her, whichever one y'all decide. I know y'all got a little arrangement. Y'all clean the damn kitchen up.
Damn, tell you I wouldn't want to eat at your house. You got
and look, and then God forbid if you act like you ain't hungry and she don't cook, then it's gonna be hell to pay.
Oh, most goddamn definite.
See what I mean?
But you know what,
let me tell you something. Okay, you know what, Rod? Do understand?
I'd rather have it.
No, this is the short version. Okay, and I need you to stop me if I say anything that is untrue.
Go ahead.
I agree with Timmy.
Timmy, gotta remember, Timmy is retired military. Okay. Since I was pregnant, had baby, had Halea and all this stuff, he was on orders and stuff. He came home every now and again. I was still living as if I'm a single mother. It's just me and the baby. So I'm doing this. Then he finally retires. And so the last 10, when you 10 years retired, 2016 he retired. He come home. So I'm like, okay, let me cook and blah, blah, blah. Everything was good for the first couple of, years, because he was eating all that military food, but now he got the home cooked meal. That's why his head's so swollen big and he all fat because from my food. And he blames me for his weight gain, whatever.
And my diabetes.
No. You can't blame me for your diabetes. I don't control your sweets that you eat.
She turned me into a fat bastard. And don't you know, fat bastard and diabetes go together.
Anyway, I would cook because I'm like, that's my man need to eat, my child need to eat, right? I would make the meals. Now, mind you, this is still me working full time. I'm still working full time. So if I come home, I ain't taking my shoes off, no nothing. Go in there, I'm cooking, whatever. Daily basis. And you want to tell me you're not hungry? The hell you mean you ain't hungry? I could have went straight up in the room and took my clothes off and sat down and picked my damn in between my toes if I wanted to. And I didn't because I cooked. So now you don't wasted my time.
So, and she's telling the truth about that. So in that faction, she was doing 80-20. I was doing 20, she was doing 80. But this the deal that changed, the whole thing changed up. When you got the food and you got that threatening language to go with it, motherfucker, gotta get down and eat that food. I'm gonna put your ass, get it. Y'all get up, go eat, go eat. I was like, damn.
Yeah, Tanya, I wouldn't even be hungry no more if you did.
No, I ain't hungry no more. You know, so me and the baby had to get together to say, look, mama, you ain't got to cook. Though. I mean, she's cooked every day. Every day. I was like, oh my God.
And you know what? And all I did, my whole thing is this. What I don't like is if I do something and then you tell me I don't have to do it. And then you get to the point where you do want something. But then we get amongst people, and I'm not saying that they've ever done this, but I never want anyone to hear like, oh, his wife don't cook. You know, they eat out all the time. Well,
but who cares? It ain't their business.
No. That ain't the fact. See, that's okay. See, you a man, you don't understand. A woman runs the house, which means whatever happens in that household is a representation of her. Okay. When the kids is outside looking raggedy, who are you looking at? Mama or daddy?
That punk ass daddy.
There you looking at looking at mama.
That punk ass daddy.
Looking at mama. No, they looking raggedy. I didn't say they had no clothes.
That punk ass daddy, he ain't working.
So tell you what you say you don't like to hear. You don't like to hear nobody say.
In other words, I don't want anybody to think that I'm not doing my wifely duties.
No, there was something you said specifically that you didn't like, because I think I say it. Yeah. You don't like somebody that, like, I tell a person quick, you ain't got to do that. You know, knowing I'm over here hungry that I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what
exactly.
Well, but then if I'm Timmy and I say, well, yeah, I could use a sandwich. God damn, y'all ain't want something to eat. That's it. I'm saying, I'm good. I want something. I ain't gonna say.
No, I eliminate that. Because you know what I do? I ask questions. And you can ask him even on the weekends. Because guess what? I'm very conscious of what's going on, right? And I know how I got stuff to do. But what I do is I strategize and I think about my stuff first. And then when I execute, it's done. Okay. I'll ask him, do you need me to do anything for you today? Is anything I can help you with today? Are you hungry? Would you like me to make you breakfast this morning? He has an option to say yes, no, whatever the case is. Now, once you say no, that's it. Now, I'm not talking about after I didn't whoop him. This is a regular day.
But can you just cook the food and that be it? Like all the extra. Like,
no. Let me tell you, no.
Don't drink no more water.
No.
Don't move for the half a napkin.
I'm not going to fix the food and just fix the food. You know why? Because if you don't eat the food that day, I'm gonna be pissed off. You know why? Because I could have used that time laying on my damn back and chilling. But you don't. Now I done put effort, some unnecessary work, because guess what? If you wasn't gonna eat it today, I could have relaxed today and cooked it for you tomorrow.
So this what it be, Rod, right here. When she start asking those questions and she going down the list, first thing my mind saying, don't say nothing. There is no right answer in here. Don't say nothing. Just sit there and look. That's what a man answer is. When a wife start coming at you with a list, do you want this? Should I do that? Do you need this? What you think about that? When you get all of that running down there, 50-50, man, I'm trying to tell you, that's 90-10 right there. So my 10% says, shut your mouth.
Tim, I got a question. I got a question. Do Tanya like get mad if she wants something and then she cooked that dinner and then don't nobody want it but her? Like chilling.
What? Oh, okay, Rob. One of my pet peeves is wasted time. Because let me tell you what my favorite pastime is.
Relaxing.
doing their goddamn thing.
Relaxing.
Leave me alone. Let me think.
Taking names.
I am laying down. I'm sitting down. I'm minding my business to myself. Leave me alone. I could be doing that so I can recharge and then do whatever it is that I need to do. So I always ask him before I even do that, because I am a wife. Do you need anything? Do you need me to help you with anything? You said you was going to do this. Do you need my help with something? Once he tell me no, that's it. Can you renege? Hell no. You said no. Don't ask me.
I'd have been in a situation where I said, I don't need nothing. And then the person try to make you need something. You know you want something. You might as well go and tell me before I say.
I don't say all that. I don't do all that. Once you tell me no, I trust you. And then all I got to say is speak now, forever hold your peace. Because don't come to me later talking about, you know what? I know earlier you said if I wanted this, but I do want it now. You know what I started to do? Instead of saying no, I said, I'll make it for you tomorrow. Because by that time, I done made up my day in my head, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But let's get back on this category.
Yeah, here go the next one, Tanya. Unrealistic expectation. We may have just covered it. I just want to read it. Life isn't always equal. One partner may be sick, stressed from work, or dealing with a personal crisis, and demanding a strict 50-50 input during those times causes disappointment and pressure. You know, nothing bothers me more than a person that's sick and in there cooking, not because of the germs, that's going to bother me too, but the fact that they should be laying down healing. I can go in there and make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. That night, I don't need no 5-course or 3-course meal. You know, that's just me though. But
you can make a 5-course meal in the crock pot. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I can't cook in the crock pot. Last time I cooked in the crock pot was some oxtails. They came out pretty good though.
Okay.
So we already talked about transactional field. Focus on that. Both parties might say they're doing more than the political field. Ignoring the mental load. A strict 50-50 split often falls to account for the invisible mental load, planning, organizing, emotional labor. That sounds like what Tanya was just talking about, everybody. I mean, we know Tanya is organized. She's a planner. And then if that goes left, she's going to have some emotional labor behind it.
Yep.
And here's the thing, a better alternative is 100 or flexible partnership. And that's what they really mean when they say 100. We know it's not going to be 100. It's going to be just flexible, you know. And I think that's the right way to look at it. The flexible. Let me take this down and make sure. Tanya, did you have anything else to add on about this 50-50 thing? Or?
Yeah, I do.
You got a video to play.
Yes, I do. So in reference to this 50-50, do you think that, not when it's 50-50, but do you think that doing 50-50 in whatever aspect that it is, do you think that it prevents a man or a woman to fully develop into their womanhood or manhood?
I think it could. I think it depends on the early stages of their life. Because if you got your woman and they're trying to build a house, she may not be equipped physically to build a house. Or say a man, he may think some of his manhood is being taken if he's in the kitchen, depending on how he was brought up. Mm-hmm. It could be the upbringing that plays into this. Now, my father could cook better than my mother, but I rarely saw him in the kitchen unless my mom was sick or in the hospital. Mm-hmm. My mother would go out there and mow the lawn, not because my father didn't or couldn't. I guess she just wanted to. I don't know.
He took too long. I guarantee you that's what that was.
I think she was just trying to get away from him before she hit him upside the head like you be doing too.
That might be it too.
So that's what I really think. But I just really think it depends on what they were used to growing up. If they saw both parents maybe doing both things, then I don't think it's taken away from the manhood or the womanhood. I think it's more of a mental state. You know, I done heard guy, you trying to turn me into a punk, or you trying to turn me into a this or that, and that's not maybe the case. Maybe because one day I know I'd have found out the hard way. One day you're gonna need those skills that you think may be not meant for a man. You find yourself by yourself, you know, and you over here trying to clean the house with some water and some Irish soap. That ain't gonna work. You got to know all the things you need, you know.
Right.
So
Well, the reason I say that is because they have in the world now they say men say women are too masculine and all that stuff, and they're saying men are too soft or whatever. And I'm curious to know, because when you talk about 50-50, and you're talking about the man and the woman in the workplace, and of course it depends on the type of work people do, right? Which determines what temperament you have to have in order to make your money, right? What you do determines what demeanor you take on the majority of your day, which means the majority of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get a woman that's making a certain amount of money and it's not like a personal business, and even if it is her business and she's the one handling negotiations and contracts and trying to make sure people don't take advantage of her, she's going to have to take on masculine traits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the type of temperament you have to have in order to make that money for your 50, part of the 50, you can't expect that same woman to come home and all of a sudden act like a damsel in distress. It's just not in her nature naturally, right? Literally, a woman will have to practice that. Okay. Literally practice it in order for it to be where she could just shut it off when she gets home. And I think that also causes problems, right? And then you have the male, he's doing the same thing she's doing, going to work, whatever, but it's natural for him to be masculine and so forth. So when they come together, now they may bump heads a little bit because they both have a certain set of expectations. They both handle things in a more firm way, versus usually it may be one that's a little more submissive and one not so much. So it usually goes a little better, things usually fall in line a little faster and a little better. But I wanted to play this video because this man stated something similar to that. Hold on a second.
50-50 doesn't work in a relationship.
Let me share my screen. Give me 1 second.
When you're doing that, one thing I'm going to bring up, I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to hit something that I haven't seen a lot, but I've seen enough that I kind of want to address it about this 50-50 thing. About that, Wally. Yeah, it's been a great convo so far. And Tanya and I, it's crazy. We don't practice these. We just come up with a topic. Well, we don't. Tanya do. I got to come up with the ones for February. And usually it's be something that most people can relate to, whether it's Timmy, Tanya, myself, everyone in the comments. It's usually something that we all can have some type of input, or we've experienced it, or we have our opinion about it. And you ready, Tanya?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank everyone for being here. Let me pull this up.
A woman can never feel safe. And if she never feels safe, she never drops into her feminine. And if she never drops into her feminine, then the magic of her heart and her essence never gets to embody you and the family. And that's what I think that most men don't really understand, is that the safer our women feel, the more free their magic and the magic of their feminine is to help us become who we are ultimately intended to become.
Mm-hmm.
So does 50-50 work? Yeah, if you are content with never reaching your highest self. But if it's your desire in life to reach your highest self, to allow your partner to reach her highest self, then you're going to have to look deep within yourself and ask, what is it I'm avoiding from taking full responsibility, so much so that she can drop into her feminine? And as a result, what would be the gift available to me when that happens for her?
What? Sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate. Sexy chocolate.
I think a lot of guys may not fall into that category, like let the woman fall into her femininity, because they think that someone's trying to boss them, be their mom, tell them what to do. You ain't the boss of me and all that. And then a woman may have to step up to the plate, or may have to feel like she's stepping up to the plate. And it's true. If you don't, that first thing he said, the first sentence was the woman has to feel safe. You know, I don't care if she's acting like the man of the year, trying to get the man of the year award. She still wants to feel safe if she's in a relationship. All that other stuff to me is just out the window. And I think sometimes if, as a male, if we're not doing our part and a woman feel like she have to step up and do some of those male chores or things, she's going to just develop a sense of masculinity. It's just going to naturally happen. And it kind of, I don't know. I like what he said. It's just, I want to hear what Timmy talking about this sexy chocolate.
No, he just acting like a foolish.
No, what he said was dead on point, because that is the dynamic and the structure that it's the blueprint that most homes should follow. The man should naturally lead, because that's what God put you in that position to lead, not to be a 50-50. God didn't put you out here to be 50-50. It just wasn't designed that way. But I don't believe that the woman is supposed to be the helpmate to the man. The man is the head. He's the king. The man's supposed to be at 100 at all times. And if that man is at 100 at all times, that woman's going to feel safe. She's going to feel that she can let her guard down or let her hair down, because at the end of the day, she knows she is covered. You know what I'm saying? Now, somebody over here that was fixing all the meals, but they know they had a king that ran a hard race, because Tim is a strategic planner, long-range thinker. So we both agreed to the plan, and I executed it.
He's a visionary.
Now, at this point in life,
not a planner.
Whatever Tanya wants, Tanya can get. Tanya wanted an electric Cadillac. Tanya got an electric Cadillac out there in the garage, paid for. You see what I'm saying? Because Timmy run a long game. But the thing about it is, I'm not for everybody. Everybody can't rock with Timmy. Everybody can't hold my hand. Everybody can't beat me. This one right here, she beat me today, but she loved me tomorrow. and I love it. And I love it. And I love it.
You need to stop telling folk that.
But the thing about it is, because I want her to feel safe in this place. See, but the difference is with Timmy, I go get 2 jobs. I go get 3 jobs. I do whatever it is necessary to achieve my objective. I'm not going to ask Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, or Sally. I'm a man up, step up, and do what I have to do. Because the world we live in, plenty of opportunities. Everybody that's rich weren't born rich. They just had a vision and they executed
it. And that's a topic in itself, you know, a vision. I want to read what Cowboy said. Well, actually, about that wallet said, we kind of discussed that. Why can't you both reach your full potential as a unit? We kind of discussed that about that wallet, that's the ultimate goal. Just become one, become a unit. Forget all the numbers, the 50-50, the 70-30s and all that. Cowboy says, I believe that the old way of thinking, now, don't get me wrong, I have a stay-at-home wife, but not because I'm the head. That's the old way of thinking. So just because the woman is a stay-at-home wife, and I've always said that, and I think I really grasped that while I was in the military, because I know I can't speak for the other branches in the Navy. If you were married, every time you re-enlisted, you got a discharge and a re-enlistment certificate, and your spouse, male or female, got a letter of appreciation for all the hard work and being 100, like Tanya just said, when they had a daughter, Timmy was deployed. I know for a fact how many women, I can't count how many I've seen have a baby. By the time the father comes home after a 6-month deployment, in my case, I think the longest I did was 7.5, the baby doesn't know the father, the mother's stressed out because now, and then the father come in and think everything supposed to just fall out the sky back to normal, and it doesn't.
Ooh, let's not talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say, like God did, this is not the goddamn Marriott. I just had to remind him. I said, look, this ain't the barracks. This ain't the damn Marriott. Tissue don't just appear.
Well, Timmy's behalf, that's how they make you. I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's all about what What you've been
accustomed to.
accustomed to. Exactly. Right. Exactly.
When I made these 7, I didn't make my own bed. I could see them. I didn't fix my own plate. Obviously, I didn't cook the food. That wasn't my job. And I got spoiled. But I worked up to that. And when I retired from the Navy, I didn't go try to find a plus job. I found the hardest job I could find, which was selling cars and not getting paid unless you sold a car. I did, seriously tell you, I did that because they said, somebody told me that if you don't do nothing crazy and hard, when you retire, you die until you. I said, well, I ain't gonna be dead. I'm gonna go find me something crazy.
Right.
So, but one of the things talking about this comfort zone that I want to think about is when you have a young man that doesn't have a father in the home, and I'm probably going to do a live on this Real Talk with Rod. I just got to get my thoughts together. When you have a child that doesn't have a father in the home, that doesn't mean you're not going to have a man. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. But he may be accustomed to only his mother. That may be the individual that's going to compare every woman to his mother more than an individual who had the father in the home. Mm-hmm. I think it's more prevalent than we often talk about how important it is to have a father at home, not just for the son, but for the daughter as well. A lot of daughters don't even know how to calculate 50-50 because they didn't have that male model in the home or in their life. It don't have to be in the home, in their life, to explain to them what to expect. It could be 150, it could be 110, they don't know. And that lies on the adult in the situation, not the child. That's just somebody that's just burning a hole in my head right now. So,
do you think 50-50 nowadays should be expected, or do you think only under certain circumstances?
I think 50-50 when it comes from a financial standpoint should not be expected. It should be, if one person make more than the other, let's just make this work and live. As Timmy always said, let's live our best life. Who cares who make? As long as we making it together, if we really together. Now, if we over here faking in front and we trying to be the quote unquote power couple and thinking we Jay-Z and Beyonce, no, it may not work. Now, 50-50 outside of finances, I think people really need.
Even Jay-Z and Beyonce, somebody the boss, and I'm sure it ain't him, but go ahead.
I think she got a whole song where she said boss. It's both of them in the song, but she said boss. And to me, that's how it is. But when I think outside of the finances, we just have to really look at the overall, what is 50-50? Back to your original question, Tanya, that's the first question that everybody have to ask. First of all, themselves, what is 50-50 to Rod? I can't go talk to nobody else about 50-50 if I haven't even answered the question myself. Mm-hmm. Then I need to hear what their answer is. And then we need to get together and see what the real 50-50 is going to be. What rules are we going to abide by?
I think that a couple is supposed to complement each other, meaning like a puzzle. The problem sometimes happens where, and it's not just in relationships, it can be at work. It could be in friendships or whatever, but sometimes some people may not think that their skill set that they have is as important as the skill set that they don't have, or they're not as good at, so they may not want to give. What you're supposed to do is this: if you're good at ABC, then it just makes sense for you to get you a DEF, because you need that because you don't have it or you're not as good. So you don't have to work as hard, right? But what happens is sometimes you get the ABCs who think that the DEF skill sets is more important than what they already have. So if they get someone with the DEF, they don't want to use the person for the DEF. They still trying to do DEF instead of, you can go a lot more further, or you can get a lot more work done if you do ABC and this person do DEF, and you come together and you use them skill sets. And when it's time for ABC stuff to happen, this person is point guard, this person is leading or facilitating that. And then when DEF is coming about stuff, then that person is handling DEF stuff. And then you go further with that, right? Doesn't mean that people go their separate ways and do separate things. It just means that, hey, you're on point for this because you can figure out things that maybe somebody else isn't thinking about, and vice versa, you know? Because I hear that sometimes all the time. You get individuals at work and they'll say something real quick like, oh, I'm just a janitor. And, you know, and it's our job as leaders to show employees and people how what they do impacts the bigger picture. So, and I hate to hear that from like more of the frontline staff, you know, like I'm just the secretary, I'm just the cook, I'm just the housekeeper, I'm just the this. And I'm like, do you have any idea what your role is as a housekeeper or a janitor who keeps this hospital clean, you know, or keeps this business clean? You're preventing infections, which means you're saving revenue from lawsuits. You're keeping things pleasant enough for patients and family that want to come back and give us repeat business. You're in here making sure people don't die because they're not catching infections from the dirt and stuff that's there. Like, you have to show and tell them how important, like how their role serves the bigger purpose. And it's the same thing in relationships. You know, some people may say, well, I know I can do this, but that's what I want to do is that. Well, who say that's the more important? It's going to take you longer to do it. Why don't you just get somebody that can do that piece to help, and then you focus on this other stuff? But sometimes that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes, you know, the head of the house feels like they got to be the head of everything. And that's not necessarily the case. Look at a CEO. A CEO don't do nothing. CEO goes, everybody else is his or her advisor. CEO knows, the CEO can't know everything. You can know of stuff. I'm not saying you can't, right? You probably grew up in that, whatever the business is, but you got a CFO to tell you about the finances. You got a CNO to tell you about the nursing staff. You got a COO that's going to tell you about how the place is running. You know, you got public safety that's telling you about that. You got HR telling you about the recruitment and the people that you need in order to run the business. All the CEO does is take all that information and make an executive decision. This is the way that we're going based on the information you all provided me. CEO ain't did nothing. CEO didn't know half of the stuff that's there, and neither did Kings. Kings had advisors. Kings didn't know. Okay.
That's what happened with the CEO. I mean, they really just make the decision of
it's the face of
yes or no. And they gonna be the one to get fired if it don't go right.
Exactly. And that's what the difference is. The CEO is responsible for what happens with that house.
Yep.
That means it doesn't matter what happens. It's your job to make sure that's why it's important for people to marry the right people. Okay, because if you a CEO and you get a jacked up CFO, you're gonna be broke. Okay, if you get a CNO who don't know what they're doing, your patient's gonna die. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta know how to choose your partners and the people around you and go, I don't know how to do this. I need someone that's strong with that, so we can come together and make stuff happen.
Yeah, that's like in the famous words of my brother. That's you get a champagne hoe with Kool-Aid money. That's a man running the front and really who need to be in the back stocking the shelves.
Yeah. You know, Timmy just said something that really resonated with me with the janitor. Because a lot of people, when they say, I'm just a janitor, they don't realize how, like Tanya said, how important it is. Because if I go into let's say a grocery store, and my favorite place, Kroger, I don't care if the bread, if the sunbeam is not with the other bread, I don't care. But let me go in that bathroom and it's a disaster. Somebody gonna hear.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Somebody gonna hear about that. And so how important, and that's what I don't understand. You got a guy or a young lady at McDonald's or some burger joint where they making all this money, but you pay them the least amount of money. That don't make. I mean, I know why it's business, but
Well, not only that, the thought is, and unfortunately, this is well. Let's look at the 50-50, or let's look at the why there are, over time or whenever you see it, is almost like the person who goes out to make the money obviously must be the smarter person, because if they stay at home and they just taking care of the house, you don't really need that much of a brain to do it. Just anybody can do it, and that's not true.
Mhm.
Okay, let me tell you something. A housewife, you got to be an accountant, you got to be a nurse, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a psychologist, you got to be a housekeeper, you got to be a driver, you got to be a coach, you got to be a teacher. I'm just looking at all those things you need to do. And this is a house with kids. I'm not just talking about Real Wild Housewives of Atlanta and ain't no kids at the goddamn house. That's just a kept woman. That ain't no housewife. That's a kept woman. But if there are things that need to occur, and usually, even if a couple does not have children, usually there's a business being ran, right? Or the wife is helping to support the husband in whatever endeavors he got going on. So she may be his assistant. She may be his, VP, or, I'm just, because there's different levels to stuff. She may be the one making sure that she's keeping the connections while they're going someplace. So then that way he got other connections to help the business grow, and things like that. So there's different ways to use people that you come forward. That's why I laugh when people talk about marriage is all about just love. No, it ain't. Because I tell folk in a minute, I love, but love don't pay no bills. Love don't keep no roof over your head. Love don't do none of that. Now I can get that stuff on my own, but if I could get it on my own, what I need you for? You got to be able to do it too. I'm not talking. Why even bother? Marriage was coming together of allies to make the kingdom bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I didn't have an army and I'm sitting here like a sitting duck to my enemy because they can come in and take all my crops and everything, guess what I'm gonna do? Whose son is of a family that has a big army, and I'm trying to hook them up with you patrol the kids and stuff and say, okay, I'm gonna groom you for them and they gonna groom you for you, and y'all gonna come together when y'all get older and get married, and it's gonna we're gonna grow stronger. Our legacy is gonna be stronger. Now, that's very graphic. That's the way it used to be. But the problem is you get too many people running down the altar just because they got butterflies in their stomach. And it's fine if you happen to love the person.
They want 50-50. That's why they running down the altar.
Well, see, part of
the house.
You're right, Timmy. Part of the problem is we need to take some of these numbers out. All this 50-50 is 4 numbers, 5050. When it's really only one number, when it's a relationship, it's 1.
100%. Right.
You become 1. That's the only number we need to worry about is 1. We don't need to worry about 50-50 and all these other numbers. I do want to address this while hopefully they're still in here. Cowboy Hands said a lot of women these days think their 50% comes from what she does around the house or in the bedroom, and that's not so. Hey, Cowboy, if you're still here, elaborate on that a little bit, because 50-50 could be the house, could be the bedroom, it could be finances.
It should be whatever that person needs that person to do.
Yeah.
To me, that's like, it goes back to our first question that we started this live with. What is 50-50? What is it to you? To me, 50-50, or I put it this way, I wouldn't call it 50-50. A partnership to me means you are handling things that allows me to handle the stuff that I'm good at. And you're going to do your stuff, and we're going to come together and make stuff happen. That's what that means to me. Whatever that means, right? You get some people where all they want is for somebody to look good and have sex and cook them a sandwich. And they fine with that, and they'll give them the world because that's what they want. That's what's important to them. And then you get some that say, you know what? I need somebody with a good head on their shoulders. I want to be able to laugh with the person. I want to be able to have a good a conversation with the person instead of just nothing, then that's what their fit to their puzzle is. And then somebody else may say, I need someone who's well connected. I need someone because I'm trying to grow my business. I need somebody over here who can play politics. And who do this person know? She or he? Who do they know that we can join together and then we can go ahead and feed into this business even more? So I need someone well connected. Not once. I mean, look at all those different variations. And then somebody might say, well, I want someone who's a good mother, who's going to take care of the kids and make sure that our kids want or get love, because maybe that's something that they were missing growing up, right? And maybe that's all they want to do. They want a woman to have a bunch of kids for them and raise a big family and do all of that. So,
well, see, I like to talk. So I'm gonna go with the second one. Somebody that can laugh, can conversate. I mean, I tell people that I meet, sex can last 2 minutes, 2 hours, all night long. But if I can't talk to you when it's over, I don't need you. I just straight up, I don't need you. I can turn on the TV. I can do something. I can chat GBT or something all day long. But I need to have a conversation. I need to laugh. And right here, this is a good one. What about who decides when it comes to moving in your parents as they age and can't live on their own anymore? That's almost a whole topic right there, because
but let me tell you something. That also goes to when you choose your mate.
Mm-hmm.
What relationship does you or your mate have with your parents? What is the likelihood of, if that ever was to happen, is your spouse the type to be like, my parent is not going into a home or assistant living, they got to come here? And you'll figure that out because they might have an extremely close relationship, and then you have one that say, no, they're going to a home. I can't deal. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes those are the things that people don't think about in their younger days.
They don't. I guarantee you.
They thinking about today. And it's like, you got to be thinking about how your kids are going to be raised. Are they going to be raised in a certain type of religion or not? Are they, are y'all going to agree on certain beliefs? Are y'all going to agree on the type of discipline? Are you going to agree on how many kids? Are you going to agree on, okay, if I do have these babies, can I go to work and they go to daycare? Or is he going to be like, no, you need to stay home because I don't want my kids in daycare? Like, no one has these conversations because everyone's afraid of, oh, if I start talking about that and asking those type of questions, I'm going to chase him away. That means he wasn't for you. That means she wasn't for you either. Keep it moving.
You said it earlier, Tanya, as we mature, we start thinking different. I know if you'd asked me, what am I going to do with when I was say 25, 22, and you asked me what I'm going to do with my parents when they get old, I don't know. I don't worry about that when I get old.
If you asked me at 16 or 18, I would have been able to tell anybody what was going to happen to my parents. See,
that's what
it was going into a home. So it's like that down. It's like that's still the answer.
But like, that one's a tough one. I'm not going to stay on that one because that one's a tough one. And that one, to me, it goes beyond 50-50.
Depends on your relationship with your parents.
Yeah. I believe that's the old way of thinking. Now, don't get me. We already read that.
Yeah, you already read that one.
I went up too far. I was looking at something here. The issue is people have issues setting expectations. Don't pretend you're okay with shit, then get mad later. Amen. Set expectation for each, then decide if you're okay with it. Plan the work, then work the plan. And that's a good point, Juan, because a lot of times we know what our expectations are, but we don't want to ruin the moment. I got to do it right now. Got to handle it right now. I worry about that expectation later on. And then it becomes someone you like, someone you may grow to love. And then y'all still hadn't discussed this expectation. Then there's a problem. And it's a little too late, possibly. So great point. Cowboy says, if you want to say 50-50, and we discussed this already, Cowboy, but we're going to re-hit it real quick. I probably let Tanya, I need to run to the restroom real quick. If you want to say 50-50 is what she's doing around the house, and the man is working, paying all the bills, taking out the trash, mowing the yard, fixing stuff around the house, that means I'm doing more than 50. And in my opinion, I'm gonna tell you, we discussed that, but fixing stuff around the house, this is what we discussed earlier, Cowboy, mowing the yard, taking out the trash, paying all the bills. A lot of times what's going on inside the house and everything that's inside the house, none of that's calculated in this comment. And I think that's how it was discussed earlier, like the cooking, the cleaning, the children, the other stuff, the housekeeping and all that. So,
well, you know, like I said before.
Give me 1 second, Tanya.
All
right.
Lord have mercy. He done.
No, I ain't mean to do that. I ain't mean to do that. I just got to run to the restroom.
Lord have mercy. y'all see this the AARP.
This the first time.
Right, this the AARP live and direct show.
I've been drinking
the AARP version.
It's gonna be a flood. You keep talking.
You know, you're gonna need to wear a pull-up rod. How about that? A pull-up. It has not even been 2 hours, Rod. We're about to get off of here. It's been 1 hour and 45 minutes. We're about to get up off of this live. But you could have held it in for another 10 minutes. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, while he is out, y'all, I'm going to share this one last final video. And basically, oh shoot, I forgot to download it. This video is basically just about how the thinking of a person of why they probably would want to go 50-50, like they prefer to go 50-50. But what it really means, you know, what it really means. And it all comes down to how you grew up. So hold on a second. Let me pull it up.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'm queuing up the video. I'm queuing up my last video. All right, let me, hold on 1 second. I hate this thing because when this thing comes up, when I put it on the other screen, it hides the button that I need to push play. All right, now let me share my screen. All right, let me share my screen.
As a woman, you're still basically wanting to go 50-50. Why is that? I think part of that is because it's ingrained in us to not need someone. It's also ingrained in us to be independent. It's ingrained in us to be self-sufficient on every level and to always prove a point of I'm not trying to use you. So I'm always trying to show up too, but that's because we're constantly told if somebody's constantly giving to us, you gonna come across you a gold digger. You asking to pay for dinner right now? She a gold digger. She ain't using my money. It's dinner. It's $55. You feel me? So I think a lot of that is this foundation of what we've been taught we have to show up as.
I do agree with that. I think that there also is a small percentage of women who enjoy
Absolutely
50-50, right? And they don't feel like they were conditioned to do it or anything like that.
So, you know, what she was basically saying is there are people who are looking to go 50-50 because, and I'm gonna say that I used to do this, just all growing up, you know, so when you grow up with single parent homes, right? Mm-hmm. And all you see is a woman doing everything, depending on how they got into that situation, determines what is embedded in your mind. It's either I was put in this situation, I really didn't want this situation, but here it is. But you don't never let no man have one up on you. You don't never put yourself in a vulnerable state where you have to rely on anybody for anything. You make sure you go out there, get your education, make sure you go make your own bag so you don't have to worry about someone taking advantage of you, someone being in control, someone telling you what to wear, what not to wear, where to go, what not to go, or even abusing you because you have nothing if you were to leave, right? So if you grow up around that, right? And there's some extremes higher, and there's some not so bad extremes. But if you get a young girl who grows up who sees that, the first thing they're gonna do is, usually those are the ones who are very driven, very ambitious, definitely gonna have their own bag by all means necessary. Even if she is married, she gonna make sure she got her bag. There is a bag where even though she's sharing the bag, it's still a bag, because it's a matter of, if anything was to ever go down, or if he was to pass away, or something was to happen, we can still sustain. I'm not going to be hungry. I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to be clothless. None of that. I can still continue life accordingly. Okay. And it's the same thing with, if you reverse it with the guys. If they see their mother doing everything, if that mother is not very clear on certain things, it can be very easy for the boy to do one or two things. This is how it's supposed to be, and I'm going to expect my woman to do just as much as my mama did. My mama was single. She did it on her own. She was able to go to work and bring home the money and clean the house and cook my food and do the laundry and make sure everything got done, except she might call Uncle Leroy to come over and cut the lawn every now and again or whatever. My mama did it. Why you couldn't do it? Or they can grow up like Timmy and say, that's not what I want my mama to do. I wouldn't want, not my mama, my wife to be. I want to make sure that my wife doesn't have to work until her hands are sore, or have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet or whatever. I would never want that to be for my wife or whatever. So he'll put his wife in a safe place, right? So what you so animated. Anyway,
beast mode.
Those are just some of the things there. Yes, there's a lot of what ifs. Nichols. But a child can go either way, but there has to be some education from the parent, so the child doesn't think like, this is what I saw, so this must be what it is. You got to make sure you put clear expectations with your child and let them know the situation and how things could or could not be, and that they need to choose accordingly, and not to let their current situation be their whole life situation. So,
and that's a good point y'all bring up, because a lot of times I've heard even my parents say, I don't want you to grow up like me. I want you to have better than me. I want you to do better than me, have more than me. But then how many times do the child say, I want my wife to not do what my mother did, or the wife just, I don't want my husband to go through what my father did. I haven't heard that as much. I've heard it. And it goes back, I went out to lunch not long ago, and the individual wanted to pay for their lunch because they decided to change the menu item to some more expensive. I'm like, first of all, I'm never going to go to lunch, dinner, or anywhere where I can't afford whatever's on the menu. I'm not setting myself up for that. Now, have there been times where I did it? Yeah. And it was an embarrassing, bad situation. And if I got to take you somewhere that I think is less than what you deserve, I'm going to offer to cook at home or something. I'm not taking you.
Right.
Yeah, unless we on the road and we both agree on McDonald's or something like that. That's not going to be a date, but just because you decide to upgrade your meal, that's not a reason for you to pay for it. What kind of man am I, going back to what Timmy's saying, as the lead, to even allow that or go for that? Now they got these split bills that it bring to your little table. I'm hoping that's for parties of 4 or the friends or something, because I just don't understand who gonna split the bill. I mean, if it's husband and wife, why are we splitting the bill? Are we that worried about 50-50? We're too worried about it. We're not even worried about it.
Unless they just trying to get points on their cards.
Yeah, that's a good reason. That's a good reason right there. But one thing I wanted to pull up, I know we're going to be getting out here. One more thing, because I want to flip the script on this. I want to talk about, that ain't what I wanted to pull up. Let's see here. Let's talk about this 100. And I don't think I can make that any bigger. I'm going to try, y'all.
Just hold your control button down and scroll up. There you go.
Yeah, this is a MacBook, so it kind of do some crazy stuff. All right. Yeah. So the Power 100. 100. Full investment. You give 100% of what you can, trusting your partner does the same, fostering a strong partnership. If both people are trying to give 100, who cares about 50-50?
Right. Exactly.
Flexibility embraces life's fluctuations. We already talked about that. Focus on us.
That's right.
I like this. And I want to hear Tanya and Timmy's aspect, because if you're focused on so much on 50-50, it's not a us, it's really a me.
Right. I believe that, and when you remember what you was going, whatever it was you're gonna say, because I know you was trying. I don't want you to forget your thought. My thing is this: if you're living to satisfy your partner, and that's always in your mind, then you shouldn't have a problem. If they're thinking the same thing with you, so then both are going to be satisfied. Period. So. There, you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's a funny thing where you get two people trying to make the other person happy, and then they fighting over who gonna make the other one happy. Now that's something that you don't see often, but it does happen. But if that's the mentality that you have, then you don't have to worry about anything else, because you're always thinking of that person along with yourself. So that's the us part that you were just speaking about, Rob.
All right. Let's get Timmy. I don't want to go back. I want to hear what Timmy.
Well, I'm gonna go back a little bit from what Tanya said, then I'm gonna come back to about the 100. So to me, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but it's the size of the fight in the dog. Meaning, I'm gonna bring it around.
Mm-hmm.
When you come up with humble beginnings, I came up from a single family home. My daddy lived his best life all my young life. So I had a single mother, and my mother worked 2 jobs. She worked 3 jobs, but it didn't instill anything in me that I want my wife to work 2 or 3 jobs. But my mother said, I want you to be a king, and I want you to find you a queen. Now, it took me a couple of times. I stumbled and failed. But
the main court justice.
Yeah, I had me some court justice. But the thing about it is, I met somebody who I knew off the bat was my equal. And see, you got to be equally bonded. Tanya was my equal. Now, I said she beat me a little bit, and sometimes she do. But the thing about it is, she loved me. Ain't nobody loved me more than this woman right here. Now, I done had a whole lot of Jezebels in the king's court who pretended to love me, but they only loved the financial support that I provided. Mm-hmm. They only love me for that part. They love me for that I'm going to take care of you syndrome. My first wife didn't work. Second wife, she worked a little bit, but I took care of them. But the thing about it is, I gave them because I wanted them to give something to me, but it wasn't in them to give. But when I met Tanya, I gave her, she gives me back. I give her, she gives me back. And that's what she makes me a king. She gives me that strength to do 30 years. She gave me the strength to do 30 years in the military. I couldn't have done it without her. Couldn't have done it without her support. That's why I said, I'm going to always go 100. Because 50-50 don't look like nothing to me, but me trying to make sure that my queen and my future king and my future queens look good, live good, and they can be able to live their best life. Now, getting back to that 100, everything should always be based off of 1. And if it's 1, it's going to be 100. It's going to be 100. If it's 1, it's going to be 100. Like I'm saying, if a man wants to live his best life, you got to make better choices. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You can't bring Trashy Betty in there and think you're going to get 50% out of Trashy Betty. Because guess what Trashy Betty going to do? She going to take your 50 and take Tom 50. When the mailman comes, she going to get his 50 and everything and spend yours on them. So, but you know what you got. But this the thing. If you go 100, leave the 50 in the dust, that's not even an equation. I saw Juan put some in the comment. What do 50-50 look like? 50-50 don't look like anything unless you 100. And that's where you get your rewards at. You got to be a king, but you got to chose a queen. And that queen makes you a king. That's the concept.
Well, see, Juan, you came in after we talked about what you were just asking right there. We actually opened up the live talking about what is 50-50 to everybody, and it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same at all. Yeah.
And a lot of times people who are afraid or don't want to talk about the 100 and concentrate on the other numbers, I look at them as, do they love me or do they love the persona?
Right.
Do they love the stuff that's around me, whether it's YouTube, whether it's PBT, or whether it's the cars or the jewelry or the hairstyle or whatever? I walked around here for about 3 months looking like I was homeless. And it was enjoyable because I ain't had nobody messing with me, nobody saying nothing to me. It was a beautiful thing. But should I have to do that to find people? I'm not talking about women, to find people that are real.
Okay, so I just, you know what? That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I do not believe that you need to present yourself like you have nothing to feel that you're going to find real people, because I'm going to tell you this. If you get individuals who work their tail off to make it where they are not out there looking for trash. No. And I'm just going to tell you, if you look like, I don't care what nobody says. They be like, well, you can't judge a book by its cover. Bullshit. Yeah, you're right. It may not be true in all cases. But the thing is, how you present yourself to the world is how you think about yourself, or how lazy you are. That's just my thought. I look at it as laziness. It's just lazy. I cannot stand. I can't stand this. And y'all already know how I feel about the bonnets and stuff out in the open. I'm not talking about you got your bonnet on your head because you going to the hairdresser and you had to run in the beauty supply store. No, I'm talking about you got a whole outfit on to match your bonnet and some freaking slippers because this is your outfit for the day. You, Pookie, and Ray Ray is just walking down the street, chilling. You're at the airport. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just raised that when you leave the house, you're supposed to look like you left the house. No one's saying you got to be dolled up, makeup, and all this type of stuff. But you know what? Slick your hair back if it's short. You know, put a cap on your head. Right. You know, put your hair back in the ponytail. Put on a sweatsuit. It could even have holes in your sweatsuit. It look like Jeezy clothes. Whatever the case is. I always believe that it's a grooming thing. So no, if you walk around looking homeless, you're gonna miss out on some people because they not trying to get with somebody that look like they need help.
If you carry yourself like trash, you're gonna attract trash.
And you bring up a good point, Tanya, because I like what you said. It depends on how you feeling. That's a good point. Or laziness.
Right.
At the time, I ain't feel like being bothered. So I kind of, I just didn't want to be bothered. I was doing some self-reflecting. I didn't want to be bothered, distracted, period. Now, where was I going when I did this? I wasn't at the club or at the prom. I mean, I'm going to the gas station where I could look like that. You bring up a good point. You look like trash, you're going to attract trash. But in 2026, you can look like steam chitlins. You can be clean as I don't know what and still attract trash.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But you see, that's the thing. But at least you get an opportunity, for somebody to figure out that you trash. That's all I'm saying.
I ain't want nobody to figure it out.
I'm just saying. Like, let me tell you something. I would sort my men like how you sort stuff when you going shopping in Amazon. You know how, or when y'all and we only got 6 more minutes, Rod.
Okay.
When you sort for clothes, is so I'm shopping for a dress, and it must be a red dress. You don't know what type of red dress. You don't know whether it's long, short, flowy, asymmetrical, see-through, solid. midi, A-line, whatever. Those are all the variations, but it's a red dress. And I was shop for my men that way. You had to be employed with benefits and look nice. You ain't even gotta be super fine, but I don't want you ugly either. I gotta want to be able to walk around with you, okay? And I don't want to be holding my eyes closed while we having relations. So you got to be decent to walk around with and look at. But everything outside of that, you figure out by talking to people. But I don't care what nobody say. There's certain characteristics that attract somebody to somebody. You either had to, and if you end up talking to somebody who look like trash and they're not, trust me, you did not choose them out of a lineup and say, I want that one. What ended up happening was you were standing in line, they said something funny or whatever, you laugh, giggle, blah, blah, blah. Now y'all having a discussion and you figure you like their personality. Now you looking at them going, they look like trash today, but you know what? They okay, look like he got some nice hair up under there. And okay, his teeth, he got all his teeth. Okay, yeah, I can dress him up a little bit. That's how that go. Or you met them through a friend, y'all all sitting down, they looking raggedy, it's fine, but you got no choice but to get to know the person because they're gonna be around anyway. There's not one person, I don't know, maybe some people got a fetish for ugly people. Or whatever they call ugly. No one chooses an unattractive person to them. No one chooses them. Not out of a lineup, you don't. You got to at least talk to them. You got to get to know them before you choose them.
And
I'm just being honest with you. You got to have a conversation and get to know them. You did not choose them out of a lineup and say, I want that right there. No, you didn't.
It's got to be some type of interaction. No. I totally agree. I know when I chose to do what I was doing, I was hitting the reset button all the way around. Just a super duper reboot. I mean, rebooting everything. And it actually helped because it helped me learn what was important and what wasn't important. Still look nice and still dress nice and all that, but don't make that the center of your being, Mm-hmm. So I wanted to come back. Hey, Tanya put us on and I agree. Y'all, we have been doing so. Tanya was on a 6-hour and 43-minute live with me. Then her and Timmy had a 6-hour and 49-minute live. So y'all, we have Fats and Tree. Yeah, was it? I thought that was yours.
No, it was mine, but they was on mine.
Yeah, and Fats and Tree was on mine.
But it's because of Fats and Tree. It's because of Fats, and he fell asleep like he did on yours.
But y'all, man,
guess what?
What?
Where we have a 24-hour marathon coming up on March 6th.
Yeah, I think your favorite couple forwarded it to me, March 6th.
No, I didn't. I ain't put nothing out yet.
Well, he saw it. No, you know what? It may have been a live. I think it was a live.
Oh, you mean like I said something about it? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need you on there to talk about some investing stuff. We'll holler at you for a minute.
Okay. Yeah,
we're gonna give you a time frame in the middle of the night. Since you be up late anyway doing live.
Nope.
No, you don't have to stay the whole 24 hours.
I'm changing.
I'm about an hour or two.
Tanya, I'm changing my ways. I ain't staying up late no more. I'm going to bed earlier.
Okay, well, guess what? Then you can get up early then. You gonna do late or you gonna do early? Which one?
We'll talk about it. It don't matter. You know me. I'm gonna be there. Okay, 2 days after my birthday and March 6th. I gotta put that on my calendar here.
Don't worry, you get the thumbnail. Me and Tree had just confirmed the date today, and I was gonna be making phone calls because we're also promoting channels. So we're also gonna be showing channels on the live. We're gonna be doing giveaways every 2 hours, every two to 3 hours. We're doing giveaways. We're playing games. And we're also, providing information and also playing videos from some of those channels that we're promoting. So, and then people can come and join and, if they do plan to join the live, they just have to let us know in advance because those will be the only people getting the link are the people who we know is coming up.
Well, you can count me in for that.
Now look, you think Rob gonna show up?
Yeah, I'm gonna show up, man. I ain't gonna tell you. I'm gonna show up. I ain't say how long I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna give you the 5 a.m. You want the 5 a.m. slot or you want the 2 a.m. slot?
Neither. 5 a.m. to what time? No, I ain't getting up.
No. We're not keeping everybody up there the whole entire time. Now, there's some people that can come and hang with us until they can't no more and then drop off. That's fine, but we will have an itinerary basically.
It won't be joking like the last. It'll be okay, good. And speaking of which, y'all, I am, and we're going to talk with Tanya before I say that. Did you have anything else with your channels that's going on? Or
no, tomorrow's Spirit Scrutiny. Oh crap! I forgot to record it. Oh, we're gonna have to do that right after this live. Tomorrow's recording. I only need you for 15 minutes. We tasted some. No, tomorrow Tuesday. Never mind. Tomorrow's Tuesday libations. 8:00. We're having cocktails. I haven't decided yet. I'm just being honest with you. I did not decide on which cocktails it was going to be, but I do know that they will be vodka cocktails tomorrow. And Wednesday, I do have Spirit Scrutiny. We will be tasting 3 wines. Juan, when you darn it, Juan, I need you to come over here so we go on and get drunk and knock out a couple of videos real quick. Wednesday, we're tasting 3 different sweet wines. I'm not really a sweet wine person, but I have to cater to the sweet wine viewers. That's on Wednesday. And then, of course, if you're a member, then there's other videos and stuff that'll be coming up over the weekend. And that's it. My members tasting is the last Saturday of this month. So, and of course, the Meet and I Awards are this Saturday coming up. Go ahead, put your YouTube on starting from 6:30 till about 12 midnight. So just go ahead and have that up there. Look at the Meet and I Awards. They put a lot of work into presenting these awards as well as recognizing those out here in these YouTube streets. Make sure you tune in if you haven't already. Go on over to Meet and I and subscribe so you can get the notifications. Subscription does not mean you pay anything. You just hit the button so you can get the notifications, and make sure that bell is fully white with the little shaking look on it so you know that you'll get the notification. So, all right. Oh, and Bugley said, I'm drinking a strong wine now called Los Vacos. Oh, what kind of grape is Los Vacos?
Vodka.
Sound like a no, that she said, and Bugley said it's a wine. What kind of grape is it? If it's Los Vacos, what is it? Is it like a Chianti or something? Let me know.
All right, real quick, so I don't. It's he says 14%. It says 14% alcohol, and one of the things that
it's a cab. Okay.
I'm making sure. Tanya just
2020.
It is not a Cabernet Sauvignon. Be quiet. And Butler, is that a Cabernet Sauvignon or a Cabernet Franc? But go ahead, Rod. What'd you say?
He say MD 2020.
Ain't nobody. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna do a segment on that too. We're gonna about to go taste all the old school liquors. We're gonna go around corner to the gas station and pick up a couple of bottles.
Well, if you find some St. Ives, man, I'm gonna salute you.
St. Ives.
Yeah, that's
my liquor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, St. Ives. I was in Cali when all that came out. Oh, English, St. Ives. My mom used to drink Mickey's, man, the ones with the little bumblebee or the hornet or whatever it had on it. Whatever that.
Oh yeah, we gonna pick up those. Juan, that's what we gonna be drinking those too, bro. Just gonna let you know. It won't be this Saturday. I can't be drunk on Saturday because I got a little cute. Going to the Mecca for the Meet and I Awards, but we're gonna do it sometime the following week. That following week, we're gonna do it that week. Let's plan for that time.
All right, y'all, and I'm gonna talk quick So, because I know we're trying to get out of here. Piggybacking what Tanya said on the Meeting Eye Awards, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Tanya and I are nominated for numerous awards, and we're actually going against each other in a couple categories. So I know if I don't win and she wins, it's well deserved. We're also up for Best Collab Series. That's how I'm going to introduce this from now. Meeting Eye Award nominee, unless we win. Nominated. And Edward Meat did put a lot of time and effort into this. I've been in, when I say involved, I've been around since 2021 Meeting Eye Awards, and each year it's gotten bigger and bigger. So definitely support them. Speaking of supporting, I did an interview last Friday with House of X. I said some stuff I've never said in an interview or in any of my lives. I try to do that when people interview me. Also, a lot of boulders in there. I dropped a lot of nuggets in there. And I'm going to be putting together a team. And you're going to have to probably DM me. If you want to be part of a PBE team, and I ain't talking about doing nothing crazy, it's going to be something legitimate, then just DM me and I'll give you the details. I do not want to talk about it on here. I'll just give you what the gist is. This channel, I've been summoned by, and I really do have a production team to have this channel where it needs to be by February 5th. I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but for it to even come close to happening, I'm going to put together a team. So I'll just DM me if you're interested, and I'll probably talk more about that now. Thank you, and congratulations to you both. Also, YouTube Journeys. I'm doing a new series on this channel. I've decided to go ahead and make it a series where I want new content creators and I want some used content. Kind of what Tanya, not what she's doing on the 24-hour. It's going to be different. But I need to identify who's going to be on beforehand. I don't really want a bunch of people just popping up. Maybe the new people can pop up, but the seasoned people, I kind of want to have those identified going forward. And if anybody's interested, DM me, Points Blank Travel, Points Blank Experience, Investing with Rod, Points Blank Network. You can probably just send it to Johnny. I probably would get that one too. I don't know. So with that being said, we got to get out of here, man. Thank y'all for all the support with Event Yours, TNT Connect, all of the Points Blank Network channels. Thank y'all so much. Will there be a Timmy, a Tanya, and a Rod without YouTube? Yes. Would there be a Points Blank anything or Event Yours without y'all? No. It's all about the people. So we really thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts. So without that, when anything else, Tanya, Timmy?
Thanks for having me as a special guest. I would like to come back sometime with some hot topics again whenever y'all get some. I love it.
Well, I got to come up with them in February. If you got something on your mind, Timmy, we can cheat.
Don't you get about it.
No. I got a couple of things, Rob, that I got a couple of good topics that we can put out there, man. I got a couple of them because we was tripping over them tonight. You know, we was tripping over tonight, but we'll talk about it.
Look at Fats coming in. Fats, we ain't messing with you.
Oh no, we ain't messing with Fats. Good night. Good night, Fats. We ending this live.
Yeah, Fats, we ain't doing nothing else, y'all. But hey, thank y'all for being here. You got anything else, Tanya?
Nope, that is it. Thank you all for being here. Anybody that Rod missed in the comments, you know he don't read the comments like I read the comments. Hey Tish, hey Juan, Lisa J Stocks, M Buglet.
I pulled all them up.
You ain't pull everybody. House of X, Cowboy, Nickel, about that Wiley. Let me see who else. Who you missed? BT Cruiser, full of
I've been saying
Big Murph,
BT Cruiser,
Edna. Okay, YOLO. Okay.
If y'all want to see Tanya smoke on the comments, go back to her live Saturday. Boy, she was killing it. She was just as far behind as I was.
I was.
So, hey, y'all, we come here, and like I said, the last thing I want to say, man, there's a lot going on in the world right now. We just want to have fun, discuss real world topics, but we are going to be fun. We're going to be animated. We just want to laugh. And sometimes we need to be a little serious. And this was one of those things that we had to be a little more serious than normal. Don't hold it against us. We're just being real. With that being said, we out of here, y'all. Peace, y'all. Let me pull up my little thing here and get us out of here. And with that being said, I think I'll just take us out right here, man. It ain't nothing else to do. I ain't playing no music or nothing. Much love, y'all. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.